Good morning and welcome to the Board of Damocles. I'm your host, Jim Buchanan, and today I'm going to do something that's not an unboxing. So, cool. All right, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the folded space TI4 Plus insert, which is the insert for TI4, but it's the Prophecy of Kings expansion, and it's a way for you to get all of that goodness into the main TI4 box. So, and it goes with their original TI4 insert. It's not. This is an in addition to insert, not just a brand new one that replaces everything kind of deal. So you don't have to assemble all of it and do it again. But if you're not familiar with folded space, let me just tell you this is kind of how it works. You've got these foam core. Not your normal rigid foam. I mean, it is rigid, but it's think of it kind of like a memory foam with poster board outsides. So it is very light, which is great because a lot of those wooden inserts, they add so much weight to the box, that you're carrying it around. And if it's something like, I don't know, terraforming Mars, the box might not handle it, right? So either way, so something like this, and I just picked it up and just kind of show you. They punch out and they come out really easy. They're almost like the Eagle Griffin Games punch outs, where you just boom and it's like the big Vital Lacerda box ones with their such huge thick pieces. They're great. But these pop out pretty easily. Let me grab it. I mean, you've got like a single page of instructions. It's not that bad. With, hey, here's how it all goes back together, a little picture for that too. So it really is very simple, but I'm going to put it together, kind of show you what that looks like, and then we'll get it all packed away, and and then, hey, let's talk about it. And I mean, I can tell you already, I'm going to love it. All right. So if you're one of those people that just wants to know what I think, I'm going to love it. I love this company. I love what they do. I've got quite a few of their inserts. I've backed their Kickstarter. They've had multiples. I do really, really like it. And actually, one of our local game stores has started carrying their products. So, yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they've gotten the distribution channel. But let's not waste any time. Let's get to putting it together.
Okay, so here we are with the FSTI4 Plus insert, which, according to the folded space instructions here, are compatible with Twilight Imperium Prophecy of Kings expansion. So again, these are the assembly instructions, and again, this is folded space. Should be pretty good. This is the way they do theirs. This is a 5-sheeter, so there's 5 sheets. Go figure, right? And they've got a sheet. The way they'll explain this here is they've got sheet A1, A2, B1, B2, and sheet C. And then they have how these all go together in the box. So we'll show you that here in a little bit. Tell you what, let me grab the TI4 box, and I can show you what we've got so far in the box. Okay, so this is Twilight Imperium 4th edition. So let's take a look inside. All right, so here's the way I've got it arranged so far. Now, just something I do. This is not necessary. Everybody, doesn't have to do this, but I went out and bought some 10-sided dice of the different colors so that everybody could have their own set. And when you rolled, there you go. So yeah, here's the original instructions for the FSTI4 insert. We've got the different factions and races and all that here. Yeah, so you've got, you can kind of see how this is all arranged here and how these go together. Like this, they punch out and they've got these little kind of finger joint or, box joint sort of cuts here. And they go together. I glue mine together like that. They hold up really well. This one's in kind of crooked because I stuck the space things over here, and the tiles, plus I have the extra dice and all that too, but you can see there's a lot of room there. I also have some things I got off of Etsy, that you can snap together to create the layout of the board. So just silly things. I love the game. I got all sorts of stuff for that, right? So so this is what it looks like now. When we're done, we're actually going to rearrange it a little bit. It's going to look more like this as opposed to this, where all of this in the middle is the existing stuff, and then we've got new things here that are in the white. So they'll take up this part, and they'll take up a little bit of space. It looks like over here. So we'll still have a space for all of these, because let's get the box for the Prophecy of Kings. If you go back and watch my unboxing that I did, you'll see kind of everything that's in that box. There is a whole lot in there. Obviously, I haven't punched mine out yet, not entirely, not at all actually, because they're all sitting here in the plastic still. But you've got some different factions. You've got the rule books and all that in there too. So that's one thing. And you've got some more of the mats, plus the additional mats that go with the existing game. Mainly because there's a lot more stuff, and there's more stuff for every single faction. As you can see, there's more for every single player. So a lot of stuff to fit in that box, in that big box there. Cool. Okay, so first things first, looking at this, the way I do this, I don't usually punch everything out all at one time, because then it becomes very difficult to go back and figure out what came from what, because each of these pieces is not labeled. So we're going to start, since tray 1A and 1B are identical, but we're going to make these trays. We're going to make two of these. We're going to start with sheets A1 and A2, and we're going to punch out these items here and there. So that is all the way through to this. Basically, this bottom section is not going to be punched. Sorry. Just to drop these in like this, and then to do that. So now what I do is I put these in like that. I feel like this is this is easier to assemble like this and to do this way, but again, that's me and kind of how I do mine. Now, the other thing I do, I grab these end pieces here and I'll go ahead and lay them out. And as you notice, I've laid them out flat, and the reason I've done that is because I run the bead of glue across this whole space here so that I can just lift everything up and put it down. These pieces I don't generally glue down because they can slide in and out, but not that you need them to, but it's just less glue. Now I use this. This is Aleene's original Turbo Tacky glue. It is a premium all-purpose adhesive. It's Elmer's. It's a fancy Elmer's, but I feel like it works really, really well on these and some other things that I've assembled. I came recommended on another product that I was doing. So whatever. I like it quite a bit, but here's how I do my assembly. Okay, so that's that first one. There is a little bit of seepage and spillover and that kind of thing, and that's normal. You can let it dry. It dries pretty clear. You can do it like that, or if there's a lot, you can just wipe it up with your finger and, or a tissue or something like that. But this isn't too bad. I'm pretty happy with it. So I would say this will work. If you let it sit for about 30 minutes, that's usually enough, but if you really want to be sure, just let it sit for a couple hours and that'll be enough. I'll probably let it, after we build some of these, I'll let it sit overnight and then I'll piece it together in the morning and begin showing this again. All right, but let's put the rest of it together. One thing to note, if you put a little glue here on this edge, that piece will come into contact with this notch here. That'll keep the sides a little firmer. You just want to make sure, excuse me, you just want to make sure that the sides are pressed together. And like I said, you can always just wipe any of the seepage out. You can cut it later if you need to, cut it off. It is going to leave a little bit of a, as it dries, just a little resin on your fingers, that kind of stuff. But, nothing you can't wash off with regular soap and water. As you can see with this piece here has a notch. If you wanted to go ahead and put it in, you certainly can. I'm going to go ahead and slide this in to give it a little bit more stability because this cutout leaves it pretty weak here. So at least until it dries it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the way that those line up, you see you've got a piece of divider that goes in there. Okay, all right, so you can just see how these things go back in real quick. I won't do all of them, but you know, I've been shooting now for about 35 minutes. It's, you know, and probably gluing here for not terribly, you know, not much less than that, but still 30 minutes, and it's already pretty solid. Okay, we're gonna do the last two pieces here. Okay, well, that is it for the assembly as far as the gluing goes. There is still a little bit of work to be done as far as placing some of these dividers in for some of the pieces, that sort of thing, but I mean, they are just slide-ins. Again, you are welcome to glue these in if you want to. I don't think there's any reason really not to. It's just more glue and more time for me, and I guess I just don't really feel the need to do it. You know, it's worst thing that happens is I dump all these out at some point and they, you know, these pieces fall out and I put them right back in. It's not that big a deal. It's not, the structure itself, it should still be fine. Okay, well, there you go. There are all the pieces put together. Took me about, let's say 35 minutes to do. It's not that bad. You know, and it probably, to be honest, took a little longer just because I was talking as I went, but really not that bad. Next thing, I'm going to put, I'm going to punch out everything from, from the Prophecy of Kings box, and we'll get it all loaded in here, and I'll show you how that goes in, and then we'll assemble it in the Twilight Imperium 4 box, and yeah, everything in one box. How cool would that be?
If I set the lid on it and put the top on the box, I can get it to sit flat. I have to remove some of the tiles and I'll have to shuffle those around and see if all of the manuals and everything fit there. I need to look and make sure that they didn't replace some of the tiles. I will say I didn't look through the rules to see whether or not I was supposed to remove some of the old planet tiles. Maybe they changed some of the resources or changed some of the numbers on them. That's entirely possible. And if they did, great, that's fine. And maybe that fixes this. But otherwise, yeah, that's a little disappointing. It doesn't actually go all the way down. The lid of the box is going to be probably a little more than 1/4 to 1/2, 3/8 of an inch. I didn't measure it, I probably should, but it is going to sit, you know, as much as a 1/2 inch. To give you an idea, it's about a pinky width up off of the table when you set it down, and that's not terrible. That's not bad. I have some rubber bands I can stick on it to make sure it stays closed. Obviously, the lid needs to be on it for lots of reasons, but it needs to be down firm in order to keep everything tight so things don't bounce around or come loose in transit if you are like me and you like to take this everywhere you go. Maybe not everywhere, but either way. So nonetheless, it is still a good insert. It still gets everything in the box. It's better than having two boxes, in my opinion. I do like the way the other box looks, and you know, who knows, maybe I'll hang it on a wall or something. Probably not, but still, I do like the way it looks. Whether I hang on to it or not, I'm not sure yet. You know, from a review standpoint, I do wish it all was lower, but there is so much I don't know that they could do that, and maybe that was just maybe that was too ambitious to start with. Not sure, but I don't think there's a lot of room for us to get. There's certainly no more room for more stuff in the box. Let me say that. I don't think there's more room, or there's any room where they had a lot of waste. There's a few, but not much, where there's any waste in terms of how much space is being taken up by the components in a container. There's not like 5 pieces in this one container and it's big or anything like that. So there you go. So I guess in kind of final determination, what would I do? I'd buy it again. I would. I like the ability to just pick up the tray that has, you want to play green, and hand you green, and you get all of your ship pieces, and hand you the faction box that has all of your command tokens and all of those control pieces. It has all of that in it. I love that. I think that is pretty great to be able to just hand you those things. And the way I organize it is putting the cards for the faction, the specific ones, underneath all of those control tokens and command tokens. So you've got everything you need for that. I also put the planet cards for the starting planets for each of the factions. I put those under there too. Again, that's just me. I don't remember if it said to do that in the original one or not, but that's what I do because in my opinion, it makes it easier to hand you what you're going to do. That's one of the things I like about this insert a lot. And what we found the last time we played, which was the first time we played with this insert, a lot of people they didn't take all their ships out. They just left them in the little thing. And that's kind of cool too, just because it keeps everything tidy, in your play surface. And with a game like this where there's a lot of stuff, a lot of opportunity to spread out. I mean, with this expansion, you're going to get a different kind of slide out that you've got, because you've got your agent, your commander, your hero, and you've got mech. And those are in addition to what you had before, where you have your command tokens out there for those side pieces. So you have more. It's going to take up more space on the table. So I do appreciate that there is a whole lot more stuff. There's a lot more in the box. Absolutely. Again, whatever I can do to get this out to the table, get set up and tear down faster, means I can play more TI4. So therefore, this is a buy for me. I would recommend it. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Board of Damocles. This has been the Folded Space TI4 Plus insert, right? I'd show you the box for it, but it's really plain and brown. It's even less exciting than the schematic or the diagram and the assembly instructions that I've been showing you. So, but it is this is the insert from Folded Space. Did a quick review and assembly. Hopefully it's been helpful to you if you're just looking for something on how to put it together. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Thanks.